So something's going on with the White House. Something is going on. There's a lot of commotion. There is construction, folks. They are tearing down the East Wing to build this glorious new big ballroom that Trump is promising. Because apparently there's not enough venues in Washington, D.C. I don't know if people know that. There's not enough places for, influential people to stop and visit and make, a show and theatrics about. So we got to destroy a part of the White House to resurrect a special ballroom for very highly influential people in the public house, in the so-called National People's House. Go figure. So Trump made the announcement here on his Truth Social saying, I am pleased to announce that the ground has been broken on the White House grounds to build the new, big, beautiful White House ballroom, completely separate from the White House itself. The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of this process. Yeah, modernize. I hate when they use that keyword. Oh, we're modernizing stuff. We're modernizing so that everyone gets a digital ID. We're modernizing that you no longer get healthcare. It's modernizing. Get with the flow. Get with the program, okay? Stop living in the past. Stop living in the system that usually works out for people. It is being fully modernized as being part of this process and will be more beautiful than ever when it's completed. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a big ballroom at the White House to accommodate big, beautiful pedophiles and suspicious criminals that I have adored and loved throughout time. Oh, sorry. Did I misspoke? Every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, etc. I am honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayers. So that's the guarantee. That's like the promise that he's making out to people, that it's not going to cost you anything. So don't even worry about it. Don't get your panties in a wad. Just go back to whatever you're doing, complaining about Taylor Swift or Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. Go back to that. The White House Ballroom is being privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly. This ballroom will be happily used for generations to come. President DJT. So that's the announcement that he made on Truth Social. Here's the Washington Post breaking this down, saying White House begins demolition of East Wing facade to build Trump's ballroom. The president had claimed construction of the $250 million ballroom would not interfere with the existing White House structure. Well, as you can see with the image, it kind of already has. And it goes on to say, demolition crews on Monday began tearing down part of the White House to build President Donald Trump's long-desired ballroom, despite his pledge that construction of the $250 million addition wouldn't interfere with the existing building. Construction teams were demolishing a portion of the East Wing with a backhoe ripping through the structure, according to a photo shared with the Washington Post and two people who witnessed the activity and spoken condition of immunity to describe it. A cluster of people, including members of the Secret Service, stood on the steps of the Treasury Department to watch the construction unfold, said one of the people. Sounds of construction were also audible on the White House campus, although the project was not easily visible to the public given fencing on the grounds. Trump acknowledged the project in remarks Monday afternoon in White House's East Room, gesturing to the wall behind him. Right on the other side. So here's Reuters. This is what Trump had to say in acknowledgement to all the construction. And this is his commitment to this so-called ballroom that every president has dreamed about. Which is very suspicious. But here's what he says.
We're building right behind us. We're building a ballroom. They've wanted a ballroom for 150 years. And I'm giving that honor to this wonderful place. I think we should do it. This was the ballroom. And this room holds 88 people. And the new one will hold 999 people, which is a difference. I say 999 because I don't want to crash.
We're calling it Mar-a-Lago Express. If the Hiltons can do it, then so can I, damn it. It won't have the massage parlors as Florida, but you'll get the gist of it.
Back 1,000. I didn't want people to get concerned because that's getting big, but we're going to have, we'll have the most beautiful ballroom in the country. So you'll have drinks, cocktails, everything on this floor. And then they'll say, welcome to dinner. You walk into the ballroom, Mr. Senators, and you're going to see a ballroom the likes of which I don't think it'll be topped. It'll be the finest. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Think of all the great interns I can invite over for parties. So great, so great, so beautiful. We're going to house the greatest of greatest Peter Files. Like, again, after all the things that we're witnessing, of all the things that Americans care about, really a ballroom. Like, as I stated at the beginning of this segment here, there's not enough venues apparently in Washington to house these people. It's not, again, it's not for the general public, by the way. It's for the billionaires. It's for the VIPs. It's for the people that Trump selects to house these parties. The aristocrats, the billionaires, the corporatists, the Democrats, the Republicans, all that don't give a damn about you. It's very interesting. So going back to what Washington Post has said, Democrats planned the project with California Governor Gavin Newsom and other lawmakers arguing that Trump's priorities and preferences were not aligned with average Americans. Trump's billionaire ballroom, this is a disgrace. Welcome to the second Gilded Age, Representative Darren Soto, a Democrat from Florida, wrote on social media. After a photograph of the demolition was first published Monday by the Washington Post and drew wide attention, the Treasury Department on Monday evening instructed employees not to take and share photos of the White House construction without permission, according to a person who spoke on the condition of anonymity to detail on internal email. The Treasury Department's headquarters is next to the White House, with some of its offices providing a close view of the East Wing. Trump has long touted his plans for a 90,000 square foot structure that would nearly double the footprint of the main building and its east and west wings. He had also suggested that the construction would not affect the existing White House. It will not interfere with the current building. It will not be. It'll be near it, not even touching it, as pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. Of course you are. Trump said during an executive order signing in July, "It's my favorite. It's my favorite place. I love it." A White House official speaking on the condition of anonymity to describe construction of the ballroom confirmed that the demolition process on the East Wing began Monday. Other parts of the project, such as efforts to preserve objects of historical value, have been underway for several weeks, the official said. Officials declined to provide an explanation for Trump's earlier comments that the new construction would not interfere with the existing building. Officials have separately said that the ballroom would replace the East Wing, noting that many changes made to the structure long before Trump's presidency. So, already a contradiction that they were planning to destroy the East Wing in this process, as Trump comes forward to say, no, we're not tearing down the East Wing. We're not touching the original building. It's an addition. It's not a subtraction. The East Wing was constructed in 1902 and has been renovated and changes many times, with the second story added in 1942, blah, blah, blah. The administration also said that it's expected construction to begin by September, detailing plans to make some of the most significant changes to the People's House in a century. Trump's original estimate for the project would cost $200 million to build, since it was up to $250 million. So, by the way, and going down to here, Trump hosted a dinner in the East Room, currently the largest room in the White House, a frequent frustration for the president, who has insisted the building needs a bigger venue to host large groups of VIPs. So, I want to make that clear that this is the People's House. This is a government office building, and they're building this luxury ballroom that they're claiming that you're not paying for it, but it's for the VIPs. Because nothing says working for the people like giving a venue for the aristocrat oligarchs that don't give a damn about you. Nothing says we the people like forking over millions of dollars to build an entire whole building next to the people's house for VIPs. Just saying. He has also said repeatedly offered to consult a ballroom, but officials in the Obama and Biden administrations turned him down. I was going to build a beautiful, beautiful ballroom like I have at Mar-a-Lago, Trump said in February, adding that he had made the offer to the Biden administration. It was going to cost about $100 million. I offered it to him, but I haven't heard back. Trump has said that the ballroom will seat up to 650 people, more than triple the capacity of the East Room. So this is the, here's a photo here of where they're doing the construction. So you can see there, the one marked off in red, that's where they're starting the demolition. But again, they're going to have to destroy a larger portion of the East Wing to have this giant ballroom. So there's the residence, there's the West Wing that was built separate from the residency of the president and his family. And there's the East Wing. Now, the East Wing also holds the offices of the First Lady. There's also other offices. There's also other rooms within that building that, you know, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that people are kind of relaxed about this, but if there was any other administration that was doing the kind of renovation, demolition work that Donald Trump was doing, they'd be freaking out about this. And we're going to get into detail about that. So here's the AP, because they did a little segment on this. This is about a 1-minute clip here. So the AP is going to break down the progress of this so-called Great Ballroom that not a lot of people were hoping for or expecting, but apparently it's a promise that, 150 years in the making, that every president dreamt of this, as Trump is proclaiming. But here's what they said.
Historic piece of the White House is disappearing. Demolition of the East Wing has begun, making way for President Trump's new $250 million ballroom. Franklin Roosevelt constructed the primary structure of the East Wing in 1942, and it's long served as the main entry point for guests and tourists. It was designed as a graceful passage toward the White House residence, lined with portraits of first ladies and framed to the south by the Jacqueline Kennedy Garden. Beyond its historic halls, the East Wing also houses the office.
Now, imagine if Obama was in office, he decided he was going to demolish the East Wing. And imagine what Fox News would be saying about that. If it was Obama, or if it was Joe Biden, or if it was Kamala Harris. Imagine if Kamala Harris said, if I became president, I'm going to tear down the East Wing to build a yoga studio. Do you think Fox News is going to be so heartily about that? Do you think Fox News is going to be, casual about the demolition? Or are they going to go frantic about, you're destroying the history? You're destroying the history of America. Think of all the past presidents and administrations that worked so hard for that East Wing. You're destroying the garden, the sacred garden of Jackie O. My God! How dare you! But Trump's in power. Trump's in office. He's hanging out with the billionaire class. Go for it. Go for it. It's 150 years in the making that they want to destroy the building that they resurrected, put a bunch of historical facts and artifacts into. Every administration has, idolized the East Wing. As they said, there's the start of tours that people would travel across, the Capitol. And it's being destroyed in an instant. But if it was Obama, they'd be freaking out.
Office of the First Lady and the White House Social Office. The White House on Monday started tearing down part of the East Wing to build President Donald Trump's ballroom. The Republican president has said he's adding a 90,000 square foot ballroom because the East Room, the largest room in the White House with an approximately 200-person capacity, is too small. Trump said the ballroom will fit 999 people.
So there you go there. That was the AP's breakdown. Yeah, it's too small. Too small. I want it to be big, jumbo. I want to supersize it like they do at McDonald's meals. It's just kind of absurd, this whole project here, but they're claiming that it's not costing taxpayers anything. But if it's being paid by Amazon, Walmart, if it's being paid by Mark Zuckerberg, if it's being paid by Oracle, by Larry Ellison, so in a way, you're still paying for it. In a way, you're still paying for it because government taxes are paying subsidies to these mega corporations, and these mega corporations are paying the money back to the government to resurrecting this ballroom. So really, in a way, you're still paying for it. You're still paying for it. It's still money getting out of you that you're paying a corporation. That corporation is then taking that money to resurrect the White House, to build it into their image. And that's kind of scary to imagine. I know people like to say that, well, what if it was, taxpayer money going towards that? You wouldn't want that. Exactly, I wouldn't want that. But it's kind of more nefarious to know that, these big, giant monopolies can just buy up portions of the White House, the so-called People's House of America, and start constructing their own little buildings, start constructing and own a piece of property of the president and our administration. Don't you think that's kind of concerning? Don't you think that's kind of crazy? I would say so. I'm not even American. I'd find that concerning. I'd find it concerning if someone did that to Parliament here in Canada. Like, oh, Loblaws is just going to buy out Center Block. I would be shocked. I'd be outraged. So why aren't people shocked and outraged when it comes to this? Kind of interesting. So here's Molly Ploufkins. Nice name. After the Washington Post reported Monday on the demolition of the East Wing facade, the new picture obtained by Chris, Ginger? Is that how you say it? That was taken on Tuesday shows that a substantial portion of the entire East Wing has been demolished. So here's a picture here. You could see, yeah, that's not hurting the building. That we're not touching the existing infrastructure. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure that a 90,000 square foot ballroom is not going to be touching the East Wing whatsoever. And again, imagine if this is Obama. Imagine if this is Biden. Imagine if this was the Clintons. Imagine any other administration in power that was doing this. There'd be absolute outrage for this. Here's Sir Waxenberg, who says, I don't care who you are. We all know if Obama did this, there would have been a literal civil war. And I just think that hypocrisy is kind of funny. Exactly. If Barack Obama announced that, hey, I'm going to demolish the East Wing to build, a skate park or something like that, Fox News would be going berserk. Fox News would be declaring a civil war that the Democrats, the demonic Democrats are destroying a part of American society and history. They're going against the people. Alex Jones would be freaking out about that. The demons in the White House. They'd be freaking out about this. But Trump, it's okay. Because they're cruising on the fact that, we're not paying for it. Well, it's not taxpayer money that's paying for it. So I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay that a bunch of billionaires gather together to buy a portion of the White House. That's not concerning. That's not corruption. That's not a conflict of interest. That just to show you how corrupted the entire institution of American politics, that they're buying a portion of the people's house. That doesn't concern you at all. Just kind of crazy. Here's this guy, Geiger Capital, who tries to troll people about this. He's trying to deflect and say that, well, every president has done renovations. He says Teddy Roosevelt built the West Wing. Taft made the executive Office Oval. FDR added the entire East Wing and included an indoor swimming pool for himself. Truman gutted the entire White House. Nixon added a bowling alley. Obama added a basketball court. Trump is building a ballroom. It's nice to know that these trolls are using AI to their advantage. So they're trying to make the claim that, well, past administrations have renovated the White House or added stuff or constructed in different ways, so why is Trump any different? Well, FDR had a swimming pool for himself because of his condition. He was using it for physical therapy and whatnot. Nixon added a bowling alley in the basement of the White House, so you're not actually, constructing or demolishing any existing part of the building. And using Obama added a basketball court. Yeah, he didn't construct and destroy a portion of the building to build a basketball court. He utilized a portion of an existing tennis court. Actually, we'll show you here. As Jackson Tweeton pointed out, you could see from this picture that Obama's basketball court is virtually the same thing as tearing down the White House. So there you see that this is a tennis court. And all Barack Obama did was take that tennis court and just turn it into a basketball court. He just repurposed it. He went out and got some, basketball hoops, probably from Home Depot or whatever that, I don't know, may cost a couple $100. I don't know how much they would be worth. But he just reutilized an existing tennis court into a basketball court. That's not destroying a building. That's not involving construction. That's not involving the tearing down of the East Wing. And if Obama did that, they'd be having a field day about that. They'd be freaking out constantly. But because it's Trump, apparently it's not a big deal. Diddy points out, Harry Truman ordered the interior of the White House to be gutted and rebuilt from 1948 to 1952 because decades of poor construction and piecemeal renovations had left the building on the verge of collapse. Engineers declared the structure unsafe for occupancy after a series of alarming incidents showed its dangerous state. The rest were additions, not subtractions. You can't even math. So, again, Barack Obama didn't construct a whole new building for a basketball court. He just repurposed the grounds of a tennis court into a basketball court. And everyone's trying to, epitomize on that to say that what Trump is doing is somehow acceptable. It's on the same grounds. And it's not on the same grounds. It's completely different comparisons. It's apples and oranges in that regard. Arlene Cohen says there's a big difference between fixing poor construction and renovating to secure the integrity of the structure of the White House and building a ballroom while the government is shut down. Yeah, there's a big difference. There's a difference between actually keeping up with the building and completely destroying a part of it to build a ballroom. There's a huge difference. I'm glad she's pointing that out. And Captain Mark Kelly, just to chime in here, says government shutdown. Healthcare costs are rising, but hey, at least the president's getting a new ballroom in Washington. So that's kind of the chaotic part of all this, is that while the government is shut down in America, and while cost of living is increasing, jobs are being scarce, AI is dominating, we see just how ICE is flourishing from city to city, terrorizing people. The government's in complete shutdown. Everything's just gone absolutely berserk. Trump is not committed to his promises of stopping the war in Gaza or stopping the Ukraine war. He is not committed to any of that. He's bombing fishing boats to ignite a war with Venezuela. All this is going on, but the one promise he commits is that we get a ballroom for the VIPs. That is just to show you the priorities of this administration. The priorities of this particular administration. And I'm not saying that any other administration is any better. But I'm saying that the Trump administration is no different than Barack Obama, than George Bush, than the Clintons, than any other administration that we've stated is corrupted. It's no different than the Democrats. It's no different than the establishment Republicans. That these are master criminals that are getting away with their heinous measures and epitomizing people for it. And they're trying to drive people away from having this conversation because they'll just tell people, well, you're not paying for it. Well, it's not costing taxpayer money, so why are you complaining about it? All these other people have used taxpayer money to restabilize the White House, so why are you complaining about building a ballroom? It's not even costing you anything. Well, if you really think about it, it's costing you something. It's costing you something. Because you're still paying money to the government that's giving subsidies to these AI aristocrats, to the tech bros, that are paying for this. So you're still paying it either way. You're still paying it either way. This ballroom's just window dressing to expose the corruption, the scandal, and just the absolute attachment of the Trump administration and people like Larry Ellison, people like Jeff Bezos, people like Bill Gates, the AI aristocrats that are further demonizing the rest of the country while congratulating Donald Trump for being able to construct this mega ballroom that nobody really cared about or asked for. I have not heard any president mention about building a bigger ballroom. I've not heard in 150 years, apparently. Trump is stating that. I've not heard a single person, but that's what he's claiming to get away with this. It just seems so berserk.